Hello soulmates, welcome to my channel, the Honest Academy. So in this video, I want to show us how to make a bra cup from your armhole princess tats. You can call it a cupped armhole bustier or whatever. So here I'm just cutting out the pattern from our previous class, the previous class of how to draft an armhole princess tats. So I'm just cutting out the pattern, cutting out the pieces so that we can go ahead and do what we want to do. Okay, so after cutting the pattern like this, I'll go ahead to put them together. So after putting them together, I'll measure the depth of the neckline that I want. You can decide how much deep you want your neckline to be. So here I'm measuring how deep I want the neckline to be. Okay, so after that I'm going to rule the line across. I'll rule the line across. Now in this neckline, I'm not giving it any shape. It's just straight, as you can see it. There's no sweethearts attached to it, so you can go ahead and do your own anyhow you want it. Okay, so I'm ruling the line to cut it out, which can serve as the yoke for the dress I want to make with it. Okay, so this is where I'm cutting from. All right, so after cutting, this is the yoke. I'm writing yoke on it so that I wouldn't forget. So at this part, I'm marking out half inch because this is on fold. I'm marking out half inch. When I open it up, it's going to be 1 inch. So you do well to mark this from the under bust to where the neckline stops. Okay, we'll mark half inch, and then we're going to use our curve to connect from the bust point after the half inch down to the under bust, just the way you're seeing it. From the bust point to the under bust, you will mark it. All right, then coming to the side at the bust area, we're going to mark 1.5-inch deep. This is more like a standard, but then you can still take your measurements to know how you want it. So after marking 1.5-inch in, I'm going to use my cuff to connect to the under bust. I'm going to use the cuff to connect to the under bust just the way we did at the other side, and we curve it down. Okay, and still connect it to the top towards the armhole. Remember, we've cut out part of the armhole too, so we're just connecting it straight down to the armhole. All right, so we're going to cut it out just the way I've marked it. All right, so we're cutting it out, and I expect you to cut your own out too. And whatever you're doing, let your creativity guide you. This is a whole dress, but I just want to show us the cup area. Maybe the other parts will be coming later so that it doesn't look so bulky to us. Now I'm cutting the half inch that I marked down to the neckline, as you can see. Okay, please to give this video a thumbs up if what I'm saying is making sense to you. Don't forget to mark your patterns so that you don't mix them up or not know where to put each one. Do well to mark them up. Okay, like I was saying, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Hello soulmates, good day, welcome to the Honest Fashion Academy. So in this video I want to show us how to make an homemade bra cup, okay, for the corset or cut out bustier, cupped bustier, sorry. So this is my pattern for the bra area. This is my pattern for the cup. So I'm going to use this pattern to cut my wording, my fabric, the lining and all that. But when cutting the wadding, I'm not going to add sewing allowance to it. I'm just going to cut this exactly the way it is. This is the wadding I'm going to use. This is not the soft wadding. It's a bit thick. I use this thick one because I want it to shoot out properly. So that's why I'm using this one. So I'm going to use this to cut and show you. So here I have the fabric and I ironed a stay on it, on the cup area. This is the cup and this is the lining. Okay, I also added a stay on the lining. So what I'm going to do now is to use the sewing machine to put these two together. I'm going to use a zigzag machine to put it together this way, and use the zigzag as it's going. You're equally turning with it until you get what you want, and likewise sew this ones separate. Like I said before, I added sewing allowance to this main fabric, but no sewing allowance to this one. So I will show you when I sew them together. So while I have put it together, I want to also show you how to iron it. The ironing can also be a very serious issue. It can cause a very serious issue if you don't iron it well, and it's usually a game changer in your cup. Okay, so I will put it under this. You can have something bigger, you can have it smaller depending on your bust size. This is very important if you're going to iron any curvy something that you've sewn, especially the bra area, the cup. You need to iron it properly. So you need to open this part like this. I'm using a manual iron because I don't have light right now. I'm using a manual iron. Okay, so I'm going to open it this way and then get my hot iron and make sure it is wide open. I'm ironing directly on this because it's the back area. When I get to the front, I will have to lay something on it so that the net of the lace does not tear. So once I've opened it like this, I'll then flip it over knowing that it is wide open like this. I'll have, if you're using a steam iron, no need of pouring this water, but because I'm using a manual iron, I need to pour water on it so that it relaxes very well. So while doing this, you need to mount pressure on what you're doing. Don't just focus only on the mouth. Make sure that all other parts of the cup is well ironed. We're going to do this as multiple times as possible. You can see how it's relaxing. We're going to do this as multiple times as possible so that when you're done, your bra is going to look so wonderful. Okay, so when I'm done with this, I'll go over to the other one and do it exactly the same. You can see how it's looking, right? So it's coming up. So here I'm fixing it inside the cup, fixing the wadding inside the cup. I'll have to smoothen it out so that I don't get to have any puffy area. As you smoothen, you use your pin to hold it. I've held some parts. As you smoothen, use your pin to hold it. So like this, I'm going to secure it round. Now this upper part is a choice. In most cases, you don't have to let it get to this edge. You can trim it so that when joining it to maybe having a yoke or the lining, it will not be too puffy for you to do the turning. So you can reduce this upper part, the wadding, not the main fabric, only the wadding. You can reduce the upper part so that it doesn't get into your sewing. Okay, so I'll show you what it looks like when I'm fixing it to the main clothes. So beautiful, right? So beautiful. Yeah, this is how it looks. Okay, guys, please, I'm so sorry I couldn't show us while I was fixing the cup. You can see how it's standing pretty. This was a night work, so I couldn't do the video as I was fixing it. I just went ahead to fix it. So while joining this, make sure you're sewing on top of the wording. Okay, I made it sew it on top of the wording and make sure that all the edges according to how you cut the pattern are matching together. You can see I didn't iron the wording to stay on the fabric. It's all your choice how you want it, but once you hold it with your sewing machine, it's just going to stay. I so much love this cup, the way it's shooting out. It's a whole dress, and trust me, I'm going to show you when I finish everything and wear it. Going to say how beautiful it looks. I so much love the cup. So one thing you need to take away from this is that you can make your cup from anywhere, any design. It mustn't be the usual. It can be anyhow, any style you want it, either from your armhole that or from your normal shoulder that, whichever way. So I'm just loving the design, and I hope you have learned something from this little that I just showed you. Okay, so if you find this interesting, subscribe to this channel. Thank you.